How easy do you find it to balance? Balance is something that's really important for movement confidence, but it's also a skill that can determine how mobile and how independent that we will continue to be as we get older. If we struggle with balance, then we may be more prone to falls. But the good news is that we can improve our balance with practice. And today in this podcast, I'm going to be sharing 5 really easy ideas of how you can improve your balance. My name's Hannah Hall. This is Movement Practice Online, where I share strategies, ideas, and exercises to help you live a more active life. So balance is something that can get more difficult as we get older, but it does not have to. And it also might be something that we need to work on following an injury, because if we injure our legs or our feet, we can sometimes lose proprioception, and we need to build that back up and regain that ability to balance following an injury. So these suggestions are great for just general balance and mobility, and also if you are needing to focus on balance, recovering from an injury. So as with most things when it comes to movement, if we don't use it, we are very likely to lose it, and balance is no exception. Unless a lack of balance is caused by a medical condition in the ear, then generally balance can be improved with practice. So as we get older, we tend to have less natural opportunities to practice balancing. And therefore, because we're not practicing it, it can become more difficult. However, we can create easy opportunities to balance and just do a few simple things to make an effort to keep up this important skill. And it doesn't matter how young or old you are, this is a great skill to work at any stage of life. And if you're already finding balancing difficult, don't worry. It's never too late to improve. So I'm here to give you some easy ideas that can help you improve your balance wherever you are on life's journey. Now, of course, before we begin, remember to always start at your own ability. Don't do something that's too difficult for you at this stage. And you may want to consult with a doctor or physiotherapist to get personalised advice specific to you before you begin. So here we go. 5 easy ideas to help improve your balance. Number 1 is to be playful. Now, kids are always testing and challenging their balance. They love to do things like walk across logs in the woods, balance on a curb in a quiet street, hop on one leg, or, inspired by my own kids, stand on one leg, leaning forwards with their arms out like an aeroplane, and proudly say, "Look at me, Mum, look what I can do." So kids are playful, and they're just always moving. And as we advance into adulthood, we tend to lose that desire to play around with the way that we move. We fall into routines and habits, and unless we play a sport that demands more challenging movements, we tend not to challenge ourselves anymore. So being playful and adventurous is a great way to improve our balance and our movement confidence and have great fun at the same time. So here are some ideas. When you go out for a walk, don't just walk. Think about how you could challenge yourself. Is there a line that you could walk along? A log to climb on? Are there stepping stones that you could cross to get across a stream? Even just walking on different terrains rather than always sticking to the path can challenge your balance. So walking along grass instead of tarmac, or across the forest floor where you're having to walk over lumps and bumps that have been created by the tree roots. And even at home, we can still do things to challenge ourselves, even while we're doing everyday tasks like cleaning. If you've got to reach up, perhaps you've got to reach to get something out of a cupboard or to dust the ceiling, go up onto your demi-point. I'm being very ballet there. Go up onto your toes, reach up. And also allow yourself to reach across. Allow yourself to be slightly off balance as you do something. And if you're not confident, make sure that there is something to hold on to so that you don't fall. And as you build up more ability and more strength and more confidence, then you might be able to do some more of these things without holding on. But the challenge is to try and do something every day that challenges your balance. Okay, idea number 2. You need a wide base. So if you're building a tower, going back to our idea of kids playing, if you're building a tower, you're going to get a much higher tower if you give it a wide base as a foundation. So let's convert that idea and make it relevant for the human body. So what do we stand on? Well, our feet, which I admit it do seem surprisingly small for having to support the size of our bodies. There are, however, 2 things that we can do to make us more stable when we're standing, to give us a seemingly wider base, a wider foundation. So the first one, and this is surprisingly effective actually at improving balance, and if you don't do any of these other ideas, I would definitely recommend you do this one. So, nice easy way to improve your balance is to actually work on spreading your toes. So shoes that we wear are often too narrow for our feet, and they tend to squash our toes together. And this makes our base smaller. And it can also make the muscles in our feet weaker. So to start with, it's important to wear shoes that have a wide toe box that's going to allow our feet to spread out and to allow our toes to move freely within that shoe. And we can then work on unsquishing our toes and waking up all that toe movement that is there in potential but perhaps hasn't been used for quite some time. So to do this, we can do it passively. We can put our fingers in between our toes to spread them out. And you can also do it actively, so you can use your muscles to open and close your toes. And you can repeat that several times. And that's going to mobilize our feet, and it's also going to strengthen all those little muscles that we've got in our feet. So make toe spreading a regular part of your movement practice, even if you don't do any of these other ideas that we're going to talk about today. And foot mobility exercises are a regular feature in my over 60s movement class. So if you would like to join me once a week on Zoom on a Wednesday morning for a gentle full body movement class to improve your strength, mobility and balance, then head over to movementpracticeonline.com to book your place. We also work on foot mobility in the movement fundamentals classes, which are suitable for adults of all ages. Okay, the second thing that you can do to make your base wider is to stand and walk with your feet and your legs hip width apart and your weight over your heels. Now, a lot of people actually walk with their feet narrower than their hips and their pelvis pushed forwards, which, by the way, is how you have to walk if you are wearing high heels. So another idea is to actually wear flat shoes, and that's going to be an easy way to improve balance. So by ensuring that our weight is back in our heels and our pelvis is in neutral, our legs are hip width apart, not only are we making our base wider, but we're also strengthening our foundation muscles, our supporting muscles. So in particular, our gluteals, our gluteus maximus, which is the biggest muscle in the body, and rightfully so, as it should be, the main supporting muscle when we're standing and walking. However, we often bypass the glutes in favour of other muscles, such as the hip flexors and hamstrings. And if we do this, then our muscles get out of balance, and that in turn can make our actual balance less stable. So working on correct alignment of the way we stand and the way we move can actually strengthen our foundation. Okay, we're on to idea number 3 now, and this is getting into the realms of practicing and challenging our balance. So standing on one leg. And standing on one leg is a movement that we can end up dropping as we get older. But if we practice standing on one leg each day, we won't lose the skill and we'll even get better at it. So again, remember to start at an ability level that you are comfortable with and then progress and challenge yourself from there. So don't dive in and do something that's too hard for you to begin with. But an easy place to start is by standing next to a chair or a wall. So find something that you can hold on to for stability if you need it. And then just lift one foot off the floor. And when you feel ready, let go of whatever you're holding on to and see how long you can hold that balance for. And then eventually you can challenge yourself a bit more by lifting the foot higher or even adding in a body tilt. Something that I really enjoy doing is seeing if I can stand on one leg and then reach down, pick something off the floor and bring it back up again. And you can increase the weight of the object that you're holding each time as well. So lots of ideas for just simply standing on one leg. Okay, idea number 4, transferring weight from foot to foot. So the other part of balancing is being able to transfer our weight very quickly from foot to foot and to move in different directions. So you can start this by standing still and just lifting one leg and then the other. So really, rather than just kind of marching, get your weight right over from one leg to the other. And then you can progress. I like doing dance steps. So things like the box step or the grapevine, things that are going to get you moving in a different direction and very quickly transferring weight from foot to foot. And you can increase the speed that you're doing that at, start slowly, build up. And also challenge yourself. I like the grapevine because you can do it with crossing one leg over the other. So you've got that extra kind of challenge with the balance. And that actually brings us on to my final suggestion. So this is idea number 5, and that's to make your base narrower, which is ironic because I've just spent loads of time telling you how you need to have a nice wide base to make balancing easier. However, if you then want to challenge your balance, a great way of doing that is by making our base narrower. So really simple things you can do is to walk heel to toe. So walk placing one foot in front of the other, heel to toe as you go along. And then build that up. So you could do that walking along a line on the floor. And then you can add some height to that. So you could walk along a curb across a low balance beam. And then you can progress to things like walking on a log, or if you want to make it really challenging, because this is not a fixed thing, it's going to wobble, things like walking along a slack line. So there you have it, 5 easy ways to improve your balance. So what idea will you add to your movement practice this week? You can let me know in the comments. And for more movement practice ideas, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And you can also head over to the website movementpracticeonline.com. So thanks for listening. I will see you next time and happy moving.